Well, you may remember here on the show Tuesday, we told you about a new mural that you can see when visiting the town of Steiner.
It turns out there are other unique points of interest in the village, including an old opera house in the town's bank building. Now, in this segment, we uncover a few more interesting pieces of history in our town, Steiner. While Main Street in Steiner is small, there are a few buildings that still remain from the town's early years. This saloon building is an original. Julie Gatula's great-grandfather started the saloon, and she says her family had a brush with fame thanks to the business.
My great-grandfather, he got his alcohol from Omaha, is where it was delivered by, and the gentleman who delivered, his children were Fred and Adela Stair, and they would actually come with their father and they played with my grandmother. So they always had, when they came down all the time to deliver, my grandmother played with Fred and Adela Stair, so that's like our little claim to fame in our family, that we knew someone famous way back when.
Another unique feature in the community is the town's opera house. It's located on the upper floor of the historic bank building. While it's not ready for audiences, it does draw visitors.
The old stage is still there and the original backdrop is still up there, so it's very interesting. Has pressed tin walls and ceilings, and we get visitors throughout the year wanting to see it. Mostly because the people that when they had plays, they used to sign their names on the walls, and people come back and try to find their grandparents or aunts and uncles' names on the walls.
And there are other historic buildings in Steiner that still stand today. This is the original jailhouse for the village.
One of my favorite things that I'm proud of is the old post office.
Bob Steinauer says his great-grandfather was the first postmaster. He built the post office in 1874. The original building still stands today. He discovered an interesting fact about his great-grandfather's annual salary as postmaster while doing research in a Kansas library.
A lady had a book on her desk that was about that thick, a hard-covered book from 1879, and it had the names of all of the federal, military, and postal employees of the United States, and it listed Joseph Steinauer, and his annual salary was $8.34.
The Steiner post office closed about 6 years ago, so Bob and his son bought the building. It's now used as a museum called the Steiner Community Heritage House. It's filled to the brim with town memorabilia. And there's more preservation work being done in town. The original firehouse has been relocated.
The village gave the Heritage House the old building, took all the tin off the old building and cleaned it up, and then built an exact replica of the old fire hall, and is putting the tin back on there. It's not completed yet, but it's getting very close to completion.
We're told Steiner Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department has been a key part of the village since 1888. You can learn all about the history of many locations in town by scanning a QR code on signs next to the sites, and that will help you enjoy a self-guided walking tour.